So today we're going to talk about choosing the right crankbait for the situation that you're in. You know, right here I've got a deep diving crankbait made by Berkley. It's a Dredger 25.5, and this thing gets down extremely deep, and you can fish it, you know, in depths 20 to 25 feet. Fantastic, you know, when you're cranking deep summertime ledges. I'll use it in the fall and winter as well, but you know, there are times where you definitely don't need something that dives that deep. And just as a general rule, you know, when you're walking down the crankbait aisle looking at the different crankbaits, if you're trying to figure out which depth each crankbait's going to run and it doesn't say on the package, just look at the length of the bill. You know, generally the bigger the bill, the deeper that crankbait's going to dive. You can see on this deep diver, it's got kind of a rounded bill. You know, as you get into the real shallow running crankbaits, you're going to have what we call a square bill crankbait. And what that square bill does is it really allows that bait to deflect and bounce off cover and not get hung up. So a lot of different crankbaits on the market, but like I said, the most important thing is look at that bill size. That's going to tell you how deep it's going to run. And a lot of times also you can look at that body of that bait. And the wider the body, the more rounded the body, the wider that wobble is going to be. If it's a real narrow, thin body, it's like something like a Berkley Bad Shad, it's going to have a real narrow wobble. And you know, what kind of conditions do you want to use that narrow body on, or what kind of conditions do you want to use the wide body on? That's all going to depend really on the water temperature. You know, the colder the water, you want that narrower profile so you have that tighter wobble. In you know, the summertime and warmer water conditions where the fish are active, that wide body crankbait works really well.